First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rikah Kwadash, and double honors to those great millstone while I learned his truth, and also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom. Come back here today with another great and powerful lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And the type D lesson is let them fall by their own counsels. So I like to say shalom to all our listeners and learners. Hope to sweep you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. So I have a news article here, but what we're going to do is read the title, of this news article. I have a video to bring it out with more edification. I think it's about 4 minutes long. It's a little lengthy, but it's got a lot of good information in there. But I'll give you a few little key points what this bill consists of. So right here, it says by this news article is by PBS News. It says here a look at Project Esther and Trump approach to combat anti-Semitism on campus. So right here, this bill is basically dealing with the NWO, this new world order, one world currency, one world religion, one world government. This is what this is going into. And also it's saying about the so-called alphabet people that whereby either they would go straight or they would be unalive. Also it's got a section in there where it's telling about women. All women will be property of their husband. Also, they will be C-hip. So we already know that the MOTB is right around the corner, that grain of rice. And also we know that we're coming into this digital society. They want total control. That's what this bill is all about. So this is a localized version of Project 2025. But this bill here is over very it over exceed 2025. This bill right here, it's got a lot of things in it. It's very disturbing, but we know that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath. So this man is constantly signing all sorts of executive orders, and see, left and right. So this man is trying to get that advantage, trying to get that position. That's why I said, let them fall by their own counsel or by their own plan or by their own devices. So that we're coming upon that time, this Project Esther basically is targeting the people of color, the Negroes, the Latinos, the Native Indians. I'm talking to you. And one thing about we know that the devil is getting ready to come down with great wrath, even though we're sounding like a broken record. But these are the time that we're living in. The Lord has set up watchmen, whether you will hear or whether you will forbear. And one thing about this bill right here, when you get around to it, look this up. Project Esther, I think it came out last year in October, but now it's being full tuition. We're getting very close to this digital society. We're getting very close to this reset. A lot of things is taking place in the world. Also, we already knowing that, that this devil is already is coming, is coming with it left and right. Also we know a lot of people are coming up missing. Things are happening left and right. These draconian laws are coming more common left and right. So we already seeing right now this place is slowly becoming a police state. So let's go to this next one. When we get around to it, look up this Project Esther. It's very disturbing. And one thing about it, we gotta trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. The Lord will be a strong hold in those times of trouble. We know that Jacob's trouble is at the door. We know that the hour of temptation is fast approaching. But we're going to constantly what? Trust and believe in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So let's go here to this here. I might get a little of this clip here. This here about news break here. And it says President Trump signs homeless executive order. So, why this man want to fool with the people that are poor? You already know, just like I'm telling you, the people of color. It pretty much is more, when you really look at it, probably pretty much more Edomites that are homeless than our people, which in fact are the Israelites. But anyway, we might read a little of this report, but I couldn't read too much of that other report because there's a lot of things that could pull the video down, So it said President Donald Trump signs homeless executive order. It's this right here, July the 25th, just a couple of days ago, it said President Trump has signed an executive order that aimed at removing homeless people from the streets. Said the order signed Thursday asks Attorney General Pam Bundy to reverse judicial precedents that limit state and local government ability to have individuals on the street. Said committed said if they pose a risk to themselves or others. Said the order calls for federal funds to move homeless people who are causing public disorder and suffering from serious mental illness and or addiction to treatment centers, not treatment centers or what FEMA camps are. These and you got this alligator, Alcatraz, all these different things gonna play all into one. They talking about the illegal aliens and deportation. All this getting ready to play all into one. This is all a part of the plan from the jump. It says here. It says serious mental illness and addictions to treatment centers, assisted outpatient treatment, so or other facilities. So this telling you right here, this devil's getting ready to move. He shall cast some of you into prison. So that was all that little report. So we seeing right now that this man is constantly signing these executive orders. This here, right here, this order here pretty much is an order to make homelessness illegal. So we seeing we're coming up. So they're gonna take the homeless people off the street, also people that have drug addictions, and also that have mental illness. So we seeing where all this going. So all the undesirables, they just gonna take off the street, and pretty much they're gonna disregard them in these facilities, these FEMA camps, these quarantine centers, these I don't want to go too far into it, but we see how this is going. This devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. But when the enemy come in like a flood, the Lord is going to lift up that standard. So right here, this man assigns many others, but these are the two I want to bring out. So we seeing right now, this man is moving in warp speed because he's knowing that his time is very short. So now let's go here to Revelation chapter 12 and we'll start the videos. It says here, Revelation chapter 12 and verse 12 said, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knowing that he has but a short time. So one thing about it, we in that short season right now. He got bounds that he cannot pass. He can't get over it. He can't get around it. So it's nothing he can do. It's Bible prophecy. And one thing about it, we all are doing the will of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, whether it's from the right hand side or the left hand side. The Lord is in perfect control. So we see it right now. Let them fall by their own counsel, their own plan, their own devices, what they have prescribed. We already know this man's constantly come with also unrighteous decrees, executive orders, project this, project that, so one thing about it, he's imagining a vain thing. And about it, in the modern day so-called white man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, we're seeing right now that he's putting his agenda, his plan, his counsel into place. But hey, one thing about it, he's in for a rude awakening. So now let's start today's video. And after the video, we'll start the lesson. And I hope that you will get edified. And this first video is about 4 minutes and the rest of them pretty normal. But it's got a lot of info in this video. So once again, I hope that you will get edified.
Oh, you thought Project 2025 was scary. But you haven't heard about Project Esther yet, have you? While we've all been distracted worrying about Project 2025 and looking at statistics to see how much of it has actually come to fruition at this point, back in October of 2024, the Heritage Foundation submitted Project Esther. And I'm telling you, it's 1,000 times worse than Project 2025 could ever dream of. Project 2025 is just the beginning of this manifesto. And making a comparison, The Handmaid's Tale, that was the first book. The 6 seasons we watched, that was the first book. There are others. Just like Project 2025 was the prologue to what's about to happen with Project Esther. Reading Project 2025, it spoke very clearly about eradicating all religions from the United States. There will only be one God and one Bible, and it will be forced upon you. It is forced practice of religion. You will not be allowed to speak of any other God. You will not be allowed to read any material outside of that Bible. And if you try to practice anything outside of what you are forced to practice, they will imprison you and put you to death. Project Esther also speaks about surveillance. They want us having something inside of our bodies that is implanted, where the government knows our whereabouts, knows our medical history, our heart rate, our sugar, everything on a 24/7 basis. It talks about suppression, ladies. It talks about the fact that we are no longer considered people. We are the property of our husbands, meaning we no longer can drive, vote, have a bank account, go grocery shopping, wear what we want, have our hair the style that we want it. We are forced to be the property of our husbands. And women, it speaks about sterilization. It speaks about when women are born, when girls are born, being immediately sterilized after birth. And when you become of age to have a baby, they will grow said baby in a lab and implant it in you so that they can have the white male child that they want for this Project Esther to come to fruition. According to Project Esther, there is no more LGBTQI+. It's gone. It's eradicated because there are no more lesbian and gay people in the United States. That's right. If you're male and you're gay, you have an opportunity to become straight. And if you choose not to become straight, then you will be put to death immediately. And women, they don't really give a fuck if you're a lesbian or not because you still have a working womb. So you'll be forced to marry a man anyway, and oh well, just deal with it. Project Esther isn't just a legislative plan. It's a theological plan as well, with roots in dominionism. And if you don't know what that means, it means having control over all living things, human beings, plants, animals. It means that as a man, you control everything like a god. It states very clearly in Project Esther that it has been written to replace the Constitution of the United States with biblical law. That is the whole purpose of Project Esther. Criminalization of abortion with death penalty being the reward will be a national thing for all of us. It won't matter state by state anymore what your governor and your senators say. As a nation, abortion will be criminal and you will be put to death. All public and private schooling will be completely eradicated. All children will be homeschooled through religion. And the best part, chat, for anybody who resists, for anybody who defies this particular law, there are re-education camps to repurpose your brain, to make you more compliant and willing to be a servant of Project Esther's law. By the way, none of this is written in code. I'm not assuming or coming up with ideas based off what I read. No, this is quite literally how it's written. Very, very, very blunt for all of us to completely understand what we're about to face. Project Esther, like Project 2025, was written by the Heritage Foundation, so it's obviously backed by Christian nationalists. But it is so deeply rooted in white supremacy and Nazi rhetoric that it literally makes my skin crawl. And if it doesn't make your skin crawl, I need you to go right ahead and run this shit back and listen to what I said again.
The president signed an executive order directing the states to criminalize homeless people and to institutionalize people with mental health issues and substance use disorders. Let's get into it. The first thing the order does is mandates enforcement against behaviors associated with homelessness, meaning that federal grants will be prioritized for states and cities that enforce bans on open drug use, squatting, homeless camps, and loitering. And all these behaviors will be subject to police action. The second thing it does is expands involuntary civil commitment. What this means people suspected of mental illness and or addiction who cannot take care of themselves will be forcibly committed to institutions or treatment facilities against their own will. 3. Federal funding will be redirected away from Housing First initiatives. The order shifts funding away from programs that provide housing without preconditions and instead makes treatment, sobriety, and participation in mental health programs a requirement. If the homeless people refuse, they will lose support and face removal. 4. This order criminalizes non-compliance with services or restrictions. Federal authorities will prosecute or penalize anyone running harm reduction programs. Also, those receiving federal housing or homelessness assistance can be forced into mental health and other substance treatment programs as a condition of their continuing to receive aid. And 5, this order authorizes data sharing and increased surveillance. The order will allow local programs to collect health data on homeless people and share it with law enforcement. It mandates special monitoring and restrictions for homeless registered sex offenders, and this includes mapping their locations. Essentially, this order treats homelessness as a law enforcement and safety issue instead of a social and economic crisis, thus amplifying and criminalizing homeless people through new law enforcement priorities.
Y'all, we in for some shit. This bill literally just passed. It's about to get ugly than a motherfucker out here, so y'all get prepared and get ready, cause shit is about to definitely hit the fan. He done fucked with a lot of people. It's about to get ugly, y'all. We gotta stay prayed up and stay pushing, cause this shit here is wild, bro. I can't even believe they even let this shit ride. It's sad.
So right now we know that all hell is getting ready to break loose. This man is constantly bringing it down. You know, the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath, and the men of the Lord, we constantly warn you. So we slowly seeing that they're putting all the pieces together for this new world order, this new digital society run by blockchain. Also, they have this new surveillance data system into place called Palantir. You know, it's getting ready to come into place. You know, so also we know that your new money, CBDC, is gonna work hand in hand with that grain of rice. So the men of the Lord, you heard it first here. You know, starting with the apostles and the elders and bishops of Great Millstone on down. You know, and one thing about it, have the 100% true, and we're constantly warning you left and right. So now let's start here. Just a quick lesson through the spirit and the power of Yahweh Shema Shah. The Lord is constantly making it plain upon the table. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1, it said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So woe going to destruction. And one thing about it, you know, we seeing they constantly writing these executive orders, Project Esther. You know what I'm saying? This executive order for making homelessness illegal. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it that we seeing right now, you know, this man is starting his depopulation program. And one thing about it, we already know him with the Georgia Guidestone, what they said, they tore him down, you know, trying to cover his track, but the Lord is constantly making Esau barren and barren, you know, so we seeing that shameful experience upon his glory. So right now this man is moving in warp speed. And also we knowing about, I did a video the other day about, you know, they seeing all these different sightings of these large objects, you know, out in space, you know, these chariots of the Most High, you know, so right now this man is very nervous. He knowing what is getting ready to come upon this earth. The dark Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Awashai, Lord Yahweh Shai, is getting ready to return. So let's read this once again. It said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees with, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. Let me read it again. I kind of butchered that. Salakia. It said Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1 said, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed or authorized. So one thing about it, we seeing this left and right, man constantly putting all these pieces together, bringing forth this draconian law left and right, bringing forth this police state that's gonna be run by these UN so-called peacekeeping troops, also with the military. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things are coming into place left and right. We're seeing it slowly happening. And also they were saying about they get ready to reset everything or go into this new digital infrastructure by October. All these governments are preparing for this new system. So it's already into play. So your cash is getting ready to go cashless. So, but that's a whole another story. But it's gonna tie in. All this is gonna tie in together. So now they're saying that anyone that's homeless, anyone that has some type of mental illness or mental challenge, you know what I'm saying, some type of drug addiction, they're going to take you to these facilities, you know what I'm saying, and unalive you or reprogram you. You know what I'm saying? You already know about that MK Ultra mind controlling deal. We don't want to get into that either, but we see it right here. It said, woe unto them, woe mean destruction, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that right grievousness which they have prescribed. So we know a decree go into a law, you know what I'm saying, or a executive order or some type of mandate. And also they can come up with anything and lock down everything. We already know that those hokey pokers are coming back into play. Also, let's go here. Sorry about the rambling, but hey, we here, man, I'm telling you, man, the Lord's getting ready to show up and show out. Let's go here, just rolling in the spirit. Let's go here to Psalm 94. Let's go to Psalm 94. They frame it mischief by a law. Let's go here. Let's get this one right quick. Things coming, it's coming, man, I'm telling you, everything coming full circle. That's obvious and clear what they're trying to bring forth. We see it right now, they put it into play, So we know that right now, the devil is getting ready to try to fill his belly. Let's go here. It said, Psalm chapter 94 and verse 20 said, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frame is mischief by a law. So let's read it in the NLT. It said, can unjust leaders claim that God is on their side? Leaders who decrees permit injustice, are their laws, are their executive order, are their policy, are their democracy, are their influence on the entire world? That a lot of the nations are drunk off the wine of Babylon, and the nations are mad. So we seeing right now, that's where we at right now. So that do thy will spirit, that this vibration, every day, so we know that America has a major influence on all these governments around the world. But one thing about it, we already knowing that things that they're trying to cook up, they're in for a rude awakening. So now let's go to this one right here. We'll get one more. Let's go here to Daniel's. So by his policy, he shall destroy many. Let's go to this one here. Daniel chapter 8. It's Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25, if I'm not mistaken. So right here, this is what he's doing right here. His policy, his democracy, you know what I'm saying? His his doctrine, you know what I'm saying? We see it, man, it's obvious and clear that what this man is trying to do. He's bringing forth this NWO. He wants this total control. Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25 says, and through his policies also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself. That's exactly what he's doing right now. Say in his heart or his mind, say, and by peace shall destroy many. So that's what they're exactly saying. By peace, we're here to help you. Everything will be all right. It's making things better. We got to do this. We got to do that. Everything will be fine. He said, shall destroy many, and said he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hands. So when when the Lord returns, he's going to be broken without end. The Lord's going to destroy him when he returns at the brightness of his coming. So let's read this in the NLT, Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25. Say, he will be a master of deception. You know what I'm saying? Right there, say, he's going to use that he shall, craft to prosper. You know what I'm saying? Shall call craft to prosper with their deception, his lies, his deceit. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said, in Matthew chapter 24, take heed that no man deceive you. So let's read it from the top again. Daniel chapter 8 and verse 25 say, he will be a master of deception and will become arrogant. Said he will destroy many without warning. That's talking about the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. Say he will even take on the prince of princesses in battle, but he will be broken through, not by human power. So one thing about it, when the Lord returned, the brightness of his coming, you know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to destroy him in the midst of World War III. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to return on our behalf. So we don't have anything to worry about, but trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Shai. We're almost out of this nightmare. We know that the MOTB is coming. We know that they get ready to reset everything. This global reset. But one thing about this cashless society, this digital society, this programmable money that will go under your skin. But we're not even worried about it. But the reset, what is coming is the kingdom of heaven that dwells in righteousness. So let's go to this one here. It's another one I want to get. I think it's in Proverbs. It's in Psalm. I love the book of Psalm. I'm telling you, man, it's a lot of good meat in there. Psalm chapter 8. We'll close out right here. It's just not meant to be a long lesson, but we seeing right now, this is what this devil is getting ready to do. It's obvious and clear this man is setting up this NWO right before your eyes. Total control. The devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. And also it says in Salaki. Let's read this prayer. I want to jump the gun. Psalm chapter 5 and verse 10. Psalm chapter 5 and verse 10. I start up here. We close out here. Psalm chapter 9 and verse 10. Title of the lesson. It says, Psalm chapter 5 and verse 10 said, destroy thy them, O power. Let them fall by their own counsel, by their own plan, or by their own device. Cast them out in the multitudes of their transgression, for they have rebelled against thee. Said verse 11 said, but let all those that put their trust in thee rejoice. Let them ever shout for joy, because thou defendest them. Said, let them also that love thy name be joyful in thee. That's talking about the elect, who the Lord is coming back for, man. Man, the Lord's getting ready to come with great glory and great power. Verse 12, it said, for thou, Lord, will bless the righteous with favor. Will thou compass him as with a shield? So the Lord's getting ready, he's getting ready to shield us, getting ready to put us in that secret place of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua. Let's read this in the NLT. It said, for you bless the godly, O Lord. You surround them with your shield of love. That secret place, this wisdom, this knowledge, understanding. And also the Lord's going to camp the angels around you when he returns, and in the midst of all of this, the Lord is coming to deliver us with great glory and great power. We don't have anything to worry about, but constantly what? Trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, the one that know his name. Man, we're very close, man. That's a lot of good meat in this, man. I'm telling you, I might read this again. I should read this again in the NLT. I see how to read it in the NLT. We'll read it down and we'll close out. Psalm chapter 5, we're gonna read all the way down to verse 12 in the NLT for edification purpose. It said, O power, said declare them guilty. Said, let them be caught in their own traps. Drive them away because of their many sins, for they have rebelled against you. Talking about these heathens, also these 2/3. You know what I'm saying? The top of that, the goddamn heathen, the devil that the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man. Verse 11 said, but let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them sing joyful praises forever. To spread your protection over them. Said that all who love you, love your name, Salaki, may be filled with joy. Whoo! Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai. That's the elect. You know what I'm saying? The true believers of Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai. I got to read that one more time. Psalm chapter 5 and verse 11 said, but let all who take refuge in you rejoice. Let them sing joyful praises. Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai forever. Spread your protection over them. Said that all who love your name, Yahweh Ba'ashim Abishai, may be filled with joy, everlasting joy. The Lord's getting ready to return. Verse 12 said, for you bless the godly, O Lord, you surround them with your shield of love. So that's what the Lord is getting ready to do. Because what we trust in the Lord, we fear the Lord. Even though this man is constantly coming with all these different executive orders, keep coming with all these different policy, putting all these different things into place. And also we know that he's rolling out all the his deception and lies, this new world order. And also he's coming with that grain of rice. And also we know that World War III is constantly brewing. Things are happening all around us. The prophecies are speaking left and right, but we want the Lord to come back to cut him off forever. So the title of the day's lesson, once again, is let them fall by their own counsel. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai Ba'ashim, Rekah Quadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.